up here. Let me mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check, mic check. Mic, 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 mic. Alright, I think we're good. Anyway, so what's up, everybody? Cat in a Hat here. One third of your AFC EASTIE boys. The home for your countdown to kickoff. That's right. We've been doing some bangers, counting you down to kickoff. We got 93 days to go. You make sure you hit that like and subscribe because you're not going to want to miss out on what Waffles has planned for you guys tomorrow. But we here tonight to talk a little bit about some Dolphin football, because the Miami Dolphins this offseason and their performance from last year, I don't know, man, has not been good. Has not looked good at all. But at the end of the day, we need to look at ourselves and we need to ask, like, can Tua be good enough this year? Can he hold this team together? Can he go back to his form from 2 years ago and be a top 5 quarterback out there slinging the rock to Tyreek Hill, who pushing close to 2K yards? Can he get the 2K yards this year if we get a good Tua Tagovailoa? I think we can. I mean, for sure. Yeah, we took a big hit on the offensive line, especially with Teron Armstead retiring. We'll get into that later. We're going to talk about Tua Tagovailoa. Can he be good enough this year? Me personally, I have a theory going. I think he can be good enough this year. I think he's a good year, bad year type of quarterback. So if that was the case, last year was a bad year, so this year should be a good year. If you look 2 years ago when he had put the weight on, 2 years ago. Stayed in the pocket, didn't scramble out a lot, just kind of sat in there like Dan Marino-esque or John Elway, Steve Young, those types of quarterbacks. He did great. Passer, led the league in completions, led the league in passer rating, led the league in yards. So the skill set is there with Tua Tagovailoa. It's just a matter, can this man stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? And he did put weight back on this offseason, a little bit of weight, not a whole lot, not as much as he was 2 years ago, but it's still more weight. It makes a difference when you're getting hit by these big guys. So that looks good, and you guys got to admit, like, as Dolphins, Fin fans, Fins up, baby, for life, through the thick, through the thin. Like, he's our quarterback. Like, if we look at our backups right now, our best option is hoping that Aaron Rodgers doesn't go to Pittsburgh and he sits out and waits for a quarterback to get injured, because if Tua gets injured, I'm not going to trust Zach Wilson. I would trust Quinn Ewers over Zach Wilson, and it's still too early to even make that kind of assumption. So, I don't know. You tell me. Is Tua Tagovailoa the MVP of the Miami Dolphins? And by MVP, I mean most valuable piece. because like without him, we've already seen it. This offense can't function. Quarterbacks can't function. Wide receivers can't function. So we need Tua Tagovailoa to have a good year this year if we want to have a good year as Finn fans down there in this heat watching these games. If not, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, coach, what are we doing? Like, the off season so far has been very questionable. But through some player interviews, it has been kind of, how do you say it? I don't know, intriguing for in a good way. A lot of the player interviews I've been watching after the OTAs, because the OTA has been going on for the last 4 days, 5 days now. I've been hearing a lot of positivity as far as like it feels different. Something feels different. They don't really like go into detail too much. Like they're just like something feels different. Could that be because like people are actually showing up this year? You know, because last year we had a problem with that, and that was a big, big problem. Like nobody showing up, people showing up late. I mean, Tyreek Hill putting in all this work on Twitch, but not putting in the extra work on his form and on his game. I mean, he's doing it this year. I'm seeing him. At least he's like out there using his Twitch while he's working out, while he's doing workouts and stuff like that. So like he's putting in work in this off season. So let's keep that up, Cheetah, because we need you at tip top form. We need you at tip top form this year. Jalen Waddle, he had a pretty good interview. Had a lot to say. You guys got to go check it out. We're not gonna clip any of the content or anything. We will state that he wanted to really make sure that everyone knew that he learned how to juggle in 2 days. That's right. 2 days. 2 days. 2 days. Anyways, he went on to saying that their wide receiver coach has been good for them. He's been giving them challenges to make them better. He wanted them to learn how to juggle, like try new things, learn something new. Jalen Waddle said that it will help with his hand-eye coordination. He acknowledged that he makes his moves before he catches the ball, which was really big. Like that was the biggest part of the Jalen Waddle presser that I took, that he acknowledged that he's been making that mistake, because we've all watched it. He's been great, but he has his moments where it's like the ball's coming to him and it's right there, but like he turns upfield before he gets the ball in his hands and then he drops it. Or he makes that football move. He makes some kind of move so that he can try and get like the upper hand on the defender before he actually has the ball in his hand. And it's led to a lot of drops. So if he's been working on that in the offseason, I feel like that's been his main focus in the offseason, now I feel really confident. Because he's a great wide receiver. Like, to say there was conversations the other night about if he could be a number one or not. Listen, I definitely think that he could be a number one on this offense. Obviously, with Tyreek Hill, nobody else is going to be the number one. Cheetah will be the number one. Bring. I mean, there's probably a couple that we could make arguments about. Like if Jamar Chase was here, who would be the number one in that case, Cheetah or Chase? People would argue Chase, but I'm going to argue Cheetah. It's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is if you put Waddle on another team like, let's say, Chicago, you think he's number one? The Chargers. Is he number one over Ladd McConkey? I mean, like, where else? like if you put him in New England, like now that they have Stephon Diggs, I'm pretty sure Diggs would be the number one over there. But I mean, like the list goes on. He can be a number one wide receiver. He's not in our offense because we have the cheetah. But if he could still perform like a number one wide receiver, and Tua can be healthy and be good, and he can take some hits this year, hopefully he doesn't get hit. You know, the Teron Armstead retiring thing is not in our favor, but it's not the end of the world either. Patrick Paul is a pretty big guy, and he's pretty quick too, which is what we need on the offensive line if Tua is going to decide to be mobile at any point and try and move out of the pocket. We need fast guys on the offensive line so they can keep up and they can keep him protected, because that's going to be the key. You got to keep him protected. Can do great effing things if we can keep Tua protected and Tua can protect himself, which gets me back to the whole keeping Tua protected thing, because I seriously, we're gonna offset for a second here. Hold on. So I can clip. I just paused and stuff so that I can clip this separately. Anyways, so I think the NFL has something out for Tua Tagovailoa. Like they got to be trying to force this guy to retire, because the last two times Tua went out on concussions, it was on Thursday nights. These were first one was at Buffalo, second one was at home. And now in week 3 this year, we play Thursday night in Buffalo. Third time's a charm. I don't know, man. It's tough to think about. Thought about, like, should he sit out? Should he go out there and play? Because he seems to make the worst decisions against Buffalo. If you've noticed and you've gone back and watched his play, like, he makes pretty good decisions most of the time. When he does make a dumb one, we're playing Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. So, that's where we go back to my question. Do we sit him for that week? Prepare someone else to go and quarterback just to break the cycle? I don't know. Tua's not going to want that, but that's just my thought on it. Anyways, let's get back on topic. So Jalen Waddle, if he's working on his hands, he acknowledged that he's been moving before he's catching the ball. If he's working on his hands in the offseason, I have a lot of confidence that this wide receiver core can take the next step. Like I said, it all comes down to Tua. Can he be good enough this year? That is the question of the hour. Can he be good enough this year? If he can stay healthy, sure the fuck he can. I have a theory going that he's a good year, bad year type of quarterback. So he has a good year, he has a bad year, he has a good year, he has a bad year. He's put back on some of the weight, just like 2 years ago when he weighed more than he did last year. I don't know why he took off the weight and tried to become mobile. Like, you're not Josh Allen. You're not Patrick Mahomes. We don't need you to be that. We need you to be a Dan Marino and a Joe Montana and all these guys that were good in the pocket. Stay in the pocket. Pass the ball. You got fast, good receivers, as long as they work on their hands. Like I said, Cheetah's been working out in the offseason. Waddle's been working on his problems in the offseason. Patrick Paul in his presser, I listened to his presser while I was working today. He seemed pretty confident that he he should be good enough. He should be good enough to start, and then he will just get better through the year. Like it's too early to really tell right now. So once they get pads on, it'll be a little bit easier. I definitely am gonna get down there and go to training camp. I usually go one day at least, but I'm gonna try and make it down there a couple days this year. We'll see. I still gotta work, so we'll see how that works out. But that's one thing that I'm for sure gonna be watching during training camp. I'm going to be watching Patrick Paul and his progression. I'm going to be watching Chop laying the axe down. I'm going to be watching Chop. I'm going to be watching this new guy, Ollie Gordon, because in my opinion, if you want my honest opinion right now, I don't know why we wasted money on Alexander Mattison, because I don't think he's going to make the roster. Like, yeah, he'll be there, but he'll only get worked in on like third down and goal type situations, like within the 10-yard line. I don't think you'll see him often. I think it's going to be, you're going to have A-Chain number 1, you're going to have Jalen Wright number 2, and Ollie Gordon, because he's a big guy. Ollie Gordon is our biggest running back. He's going to be like a fullback type of role. He's going to fill in. He's going to kind of help out Alec Ingold, to allow Alec Ingold, who's been one of our stars, underrated, under-talked about stars for the last 3 years, hands down. So I think Ollie Gordon will kind of shift into that role and help Alec Ingold out and free him up so he can move around a little bit, because I think if we put like Alec Ingold in like a tight end position, not necessarily all the time, but every once in a while, have a couple plays drawn up to have him as a tight end, I can see that working. I can see that working for sure. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe. We're counting you guys down to NFL. We got 93 days left. Tomorrow, we're going to have 92 days. You're not going to want to miss what Waffle's got in store for you. And you're definitely not going to want to miss what we got in store for you for day 90. Day 90. I'm doing it, but as a Dolphin fan, I don't want to. Something else I'm going to be watching for during training camp, obviously Tua Tagovailoa. But I'm also going to be watching our backup quarterbacks more. Like, I'm going to be more focused on our backup quarterbacks, because, like, that's the real question there. It's like, I can make an argument that the Pittsburgh Steelers have the worst quarterback room in the NFL right now. Because, like, look at it. You got Mason Rudolph. Like, you got our leftovers, Skylar Thompson. And then another guy that they just drafted, I can't think of his name. It's really like bloop, slipping off the top of my head right now. Anyways, and then maybe Aaron Rodgers, maybe. Like that's literally what they're hoping and praying for, is Aaron Rodgers to show up and show out. I mean, it is their best option. So, like, now going back to the Dolphins and the Dolphin quarterback room, I have no faith in Zach Wilson. Like, I would have, in this instance, for one, I would have rather have kept Tyler Huntley. But if we couldn't have kept Tyler Huntley, then Skylar Thompson isn't any worse than Zach Wilson. And I'm sure Skylar Thompson would have been a lot cheaper than Zach Wilson, and we'd have more money to play with right now. Same with Alexander Mattison. Like, we made a mistake when we didn't trade Raheem Mostert before the trade deadline last year, and we let him hit the free agency this year. We should have just re-signed Mostert instead of Mattison. Like, in my opinion, Mostert was the better one, and he was cheaper. Anyways, bad off-season moves by the Dolphins. Like, what is this? So I'm gonna be watching the quarterback battle, backup quarterback battle. That is, Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers. I'm kind of rooting for Quinn Ewers. I watched a little bit of his tapes um, from college, not too much, just enough. So I'm eager to see it live during training camp. So I can't wait till July when training camps start, and I can go down there and check it out because it's going to be interesting. So Teron Armstead officially retired, but unofficially retired. He's kind of like on the reserve retired list, whatever that means. I looked it up. Basically, he had to write a letter to the commissioner for the commissioner to approve it. Which, why not? Why wouldn't the commissioner approve a player wanting to retire? So basically, what that does is like it free ups the roster spot, but like it still affects the salary cap. But I heard from another source that like it allowed some of the salary cap to be pushed to next year instead of getting hit all in this year. So it freed up a little bit of space by him waiting for a certain date to do it instead of doing it earlier. But reserve retired list, he can still like become unretired basically. So if he so chooses so, he'd still be for the Dolphins. So this is hypothetically. We can call it a what are we calling them? Long shots, whatever. Um, Dolphins 0-3, 0-4 start the season, and there's a team out there that's looking good, um, and their left tackle just goes down, but they look good. Let's say Baltimore, or Buffalo, or Kansas City. Any of these teams that possibly would likely go to the Super Bowl. Their left tackle gets injured. Hypothetically, Teron Armstead could unretire now, all right, if he would choose so. Dolphins could then do some mingling, trade away, free up some cap space, maybe get some draft capital for next year, yada yada. Um, let's say the Dolphins start 4-0, you know, and Teron Armstead can then decide, okay, it's looking good to have made it past week 3, Thursday night against the Buffalo Bills. So I think we're good for the rest of the season. Write a letter to the commissioner, request to unretire, and then go play for the Dolphins. Be back on the roster. Also, like there's a lot of variables that could happen with the whole Teron Armstead retiring thing. So that's basically the reserved retired list in a handbasket. He can unretire, and there's stipulations to it, but the Dolphins pretty much hold control of him as a player, so it would be on the team to decide what happens. We all know Ramsey's out the door. Um, we all know Ramsey's out the door, and Geno Smith is possibly out the door too. We're gonna address both of that. I'm not like I'm okay with Ramsey, but like the whole thing that they didn't like replace Ramsey with anybody like makes it not okay. But whatever, it's gonna happen anyways. Let me know down in the comments where y'all think Ramsey's gonna end up. Let me know where you think Ramsey's gonna end up. Yeah, because he's gone. I mean, I don't think there's no turning back now. It's just a matter of the Dolphins giving in and like eating some of his contract basically to get something done. What happens if nothing gets done? I mean, it's more logical for the Dolphins to try and get something done because if he sits out, then it's just like completely wasted money. Like you didn't get nothing back for it, and you're still going to be spending the money. So like, you might as well work something out to help us. Maybe you can get another halfway decent corner or safety to replace and put back there. Some of the moves we made in the offseason were not promising. Our offense, though, if our offense can Tua Tagovailoa be good enough this year? Question of the hour. If our offense can perform, can they be good enough to outperform the poor defense? In the AFC, I don't think so. There's too many heavy hitters out there. Throw it over the top. Kansas City, Buffalo, Houston, like Baltimore now that they got DeAndre Hopkins. Like, and Baltimore's got a run threat too, so it's like you can't like just focus on pass. Like you gotta worry about the king, Henry back there, and Lamar Jackson. So it's like Baltimore put together a squad. Baltimore put together a squad. Right now, they're my favorites in the AFC. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa got to show me that he can stay healthy and make it through week 3, and then I'll put us as the favorites. The Geno Smith thing, I really don't get this. Like, I felt the same way when we got rid of Mike Gesicki. Like, I really didn't get it. Like, I don't understand why Mike McDaniel didn't use Mike Gesicki more. Mike Gesicki was really good tight end. I mean, yeah, he didn't block very well, like, at all. But he was a good catching tight end, and he was good for yak. And in this type of offense, I'm pretty sure Mike McDaniel could have schemed some stuff up. Like, look what he did with Geno Smith. So, I think Geno Smith fits the offense. He wants to play here. It's kind of just a money thing. And then again, we're broke. We're broke. We're broke as a Dolphin organization. We're broke. We ain't got no money to play with. Zero. Nada. So, hopefully we can work something out there. What else am I looking for in training camp? Well, I'm going to be watching our center. That's for sure. A lot of the problems we've had over the last couple years has started with our center. Bad snaps, over the head of Tua, too low, and up too high when they're under, like, right under center, you know what I mean? Like, they're, like, right there, up in the sack, waiting for the ball, and he just, like, puts it too high and too fast, and it just bounces through and falls to the ground. I'm going to be watching our centers, because our centers have been a problem. We need good snaps, especially when Tua's back there in shotgun. We cannot. I don't want to see any snaps over the head this year. None of that. Can't have it. So, I mean, I think the only player on defense I'll be watching. Okay, so I will be watching Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb as well, because obviously they're coming off injuries. I want to see how they're going to be performing. Like, I was keeping an eye on Jalen Phillips last year, and he was looking really good coming into, like, during training camps, coming into season, but then he still ended up suffering an injury pretty early on last year. So Those are another two players that I will be watching. What to expect? We can go over the schedule, and we can go line by line over the schedule, and probably pick out 8 or 9 games, possibly even 10 that we win. But it's way too early for that. Way too early for that. Let's get through training camp, and then we'll go through and we'll do our prediction. How's that sound? Way too early to be doing predictions. We do have a favorable schedule this year. I'm not gonna lie. We do got a favorable schedule. We got some pretty good home games. Too bad we only got 9 home games this year, because one of our home games is actually in Madrid, Spain, for the first time. That's right. Miami Dolphins going to be hosting the Washington Commanders. That is going to be a freaking game to watch. I am actually excited for that one, because I do like what the Washington Commanders got going on right now. Jaden Daniels, Superman. Woo! Superman Jaden Daniels, I call him, is really good. They're my favorites right now going in. Like right now, they're my favorites for next year for the NFC. I do really like the Philadelphia Eagles. I definitely like what the Philadelphia Eagles got going on. I can definitely see them making a three-peat. But my thinking with the Philadelphia Eagles is that it really depends on who they play in the playoffs. That's really what's going to matter. So yes, that's going to be a really exciting game. Too bad I'm not going to be able to be there. It would be great to be there. First game in Madrid, Spain would be awesome. But Miami Dolphins going to be hosting the Washington Commanders. Let's effing go. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe. We may not be able to be there, but I'll be streaming it live, and Garen effing to you. I'll make you feel like you're there. And maybe my boy Waffles will join us too, but he'll probably be working. He likes working. He has to work on Sundays most of the time, and that's going to be an early game, a 9:30 game. So it's going to be early in the morning. So hopefully y'all got lots of coffee, because I'm going to have lots of coffee. So hopefully y'all got lots of coffee. Get you some, maybe some pancakes and some waffles, you know. Watch the 9:30 game with some coffee, and then maybe by like halftime you kick open a mimosa, kick back. Mimosa's not really my thing, but you know, can do it. Anyways, be there for sure. But you gotta hit that like and subscribe. You gotta turn on them notifications, because this is also the only place right now where you can get a countdown to kickoff. That's right. Tomorrow's day number 92. What's Waffle got in store for you? Anyways, I think that was all we had to talk about today. We did it pretty quickly. We didn't have any interruptions. Yeah. Any questions? Comments? Concerns? I'll address any questions you got right now. Bum bum bum. This is also your one-stop shop for your fantasy football. We got our own league. We're looking for one more player. We're looking for one more player. I'll probably have it filled within the next week, to be honest. It's pretty cheap, $20 buy-in. We have a trophy. We have fun. We stream the draft. Give you your fantasy input. I've already done a couple fantasy drafts. Because DraftKings has this best ball thing going on, and they give out deals. So like I've done a few of those drafts already. I really enjoy the best ball draft. Like if you have not tried best ball with DraftKings yet, this is not an endorsement. This is me just talking about it. You definitely got to check it out. It takes out all of the headache of worrying about who do I play this week? Do I play him over him? Like this is a tough defense. Should I sit out? Like takes all the headache out of that. You just worry about your draft. You go in, you draft a bunch of players. Like it has like 17 rounds or something. You get a lot of extra players. But the way that it works is each week, whoever performs best in that position gets filled in that slot. So you don't have to worry about bye weeks. And you don't have to worry about going in and subbing out players for other players. Because, like, it does it for you. I'm going to give you my best advice. If you're going to do the 30-second pick, know who you're going to draft because it is fast. And if you do the 8-hour pick, it takes forever. Week and a half. 2 weeks could take 2 weeks. Could take 2 weeks. Depending on everyone else. But you got to put all your focus in your drafting. Have to put all your focus in drafting. That, because once you draft, it's it. You set it and you forget it. That's it. You just let it roll. And then at the end, you either win or you don't win. But it's pretty fun if you're into the drafting. I'm into that. I do all the research, like the homework. Like I'm the guy to do the homework. So if you want the information, make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe because I'm gonna be dropping some bangers up until season starts for your fantasy football teams. That's right. Your sleepers. Like, right? You want a sleeper right now? I'll give you a sleeper right now. Somebody that you can draft to get you 15 plus points a week barring injury. And you can draft them late. I'm talking late. Let me get a like and subscribe right now. I'll give you that player. Don't worry. I'll wait. No, I'm just kidding. Joe Mixon. You can draft him as late as 5th round. 5th round, Joe Mixon. Are you kidding me? I don't understand it. Like, why are people... I know it's early. But I think the only people that are drafting right now are serious drafters because they're getting a feel for the room. They're getting a feel for the drafts. They're learning where players are going, when players are going, because it really matters when you start playing in those big money leagues. Like you got $100 buy-in, you got $1,000 buy-in. Like I don't play in those big leagues. I ain't got money like that. But like even with my measly $20 buy-in, I'm like, man, winning $200, it seems pretty cool to play a game. So let me put some effort in some drafting to make sure I draft the right players. With the DraftKings, with the best ball, you have a chance to win $1 million. So do your homework. Or hit that like and subscribe and let me do your homework for you. I'll be dropping lots and lots and lots of videos of who you should be drafting in round 1, round 2, round 3, depending on the direction that you want to go. Like, do you want to go wide receiver in round 1? Do you want to go running back in round 1? I don't think you should ever go anything else in round 1 but running back or wide receiver. Those are your two most outputting positions on the fantasy football team. Most of the time it will be depending. All right, so this is situational. So if you get if you get a pass catching running back, those are ideally gold. You want those. Pass catching running back, especially if you're in a PPR league, which most leagues are PPR. So you would want a pass catching running back because they get a lot of touches running the ball. Plus, they get receptions and touches with the reception game. So, ideally, that's number one. If you can get one of those, Saquon Barkley should be number one pick. Saquon Barkley should be number one pick. Pass catching running back. Doing like backwards hurdles over people. Second should be a clear number one wide receiver. And when I say clear number one wide receiver, I mean like not somebody who's sharing touches with a good number two. Like, yes, Jamar Chase is a clear number one wide receiver, but T. Higgins, you put him on another team that doesn't have a clear number one wide receiver, and he can be a number one. Like, I'm talking teams that have a clear number one wide receiver, and their second wide receiver is like tiers below them. I can't think of teams that are like that right now. Like maybe the Carolina Panthers. You have the Seattle Seahawks with Cooper Kupp. Like that's your clear number one. You got Smith and Jigba. I mean, I guess I'll save that for another video. But clear number one wide receivers, that's your second when you're drafting fantasy. So you got your pass catching running backs should be your top option. So a guy like Saquon Barkley should be going number one in your fantasy drafts. And then you want clear number one wide receiver. Like you don't want them sharing a lot of targets with another wide receiver. Like it should be an obvious 65-35 split between the two wide receivers. And then third, you would want your third, you can go either way. You can either go with a running back that's not necessarily a pass catching running back, but they're like the bell cow of the team. They're the main running back, and like the backup isn't really there. Joe Mixon's a good example for that. He can be used in the pass game, but he is primarily a running back. So, a guy like that. And those are my tips for you for tonight. Make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe for more of them coming soon. So we ain't got no questions. Any questions? Any questions about the Dolphins offseason and what to expect next year? I know you can expect me being that 12th man on defense, getting loud as F on third downs, especially. I might take Goel to a game this year. What you think? We should definitely do it. Should definitely do it. Alright, peace out, everybody. Make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe.